All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate it. How's everyone doing this morning? I like it. We got a nice, tight-knit, intimate group. Morning, Lizette, Terry, Linda. Great to see everybody. How's the trading week been, team? I'm excited to kick off our first session together here. Trip doing good? Awesome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. John from London? That's awesome. But all right, team, I'm super excited today. So just to kind of preface, my two goals with these live sessions, the first goal is to one, make sure that I take time to really help you guys internalize this system. We have a tight knit group in here. It's not going to be thousands of people, so I'll really have a chance to pretty much answer all of your questions. Break down any charts and really just watch things unfold. Tick by tick, with again the hopes of truly just internalizing this system. And then the second goal, team, is to take a few trades together. We're going to be patient, calculated, and methodical, hopefully make some money. But the real focal point and reason for the live trading, guys, is so I can help you walk through this, understand everything that you learned in the class, and make sure that the system makes complete sense. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, but I'm going to dig into some prep here. We're going to cover some levels, some setups, some options, and then I'll hand you guys over my charts, and we'll start our first session here. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna try my best with alerts here. Posting alerts for scalping are never the easiest, so I am gonna do my best, and it's gonna look something a little bit like this. I'm gonna do a practice in the chat right now. It'll be like maybe something like that. NVIDIA 560 calls it 3. Right? I'm not gonna have a lot of time to post, all the details, but it's gonna be something as simple as that, where right, if you look at NVIDIA 560 calls and it's time, we're going to shoot. But is there a watch list today? Yep, there's a watch list. So let me get through it, guys. I'll share everything. So let's talk about it. So first thing is the overall market here, team. We've had quite the week, as I'm sure we all know, and I want to really focus on two critical points. One is we dropped down nicely here to the 50-day moving average, which is a big key moving average that I focus on. As you guys learned, right, after 3 big drops, we're getting that inevitable pop. If we take a look, where are we popping back to? Right back to our point of control. So remember, guys, it's a magnet to the downside, becomes a cannon, and when we bottom, we run right back to that magnet. If we take a look here, YM is also right back at its magnet. Fell all the way towards on the sell-off, cannon through, and then all the way back here for another magnet. If we take a look at NQ real quick, they still have a little bit to go to get to their magnet. They've obviously been the clear lagger here in the overall market. So I want to continue to focus on points of controls. Does ES and YM get through theirs and send NQ up to it? Or do we get the consolidation on it and maybe get pushed off of it? So again, if we look here at ES team, remember the usages that we learned about point of control, where we can grind to it and pretty much chop all day, right? That's the magnet effect. We magnet towards it, and we can also get stuck on it. Or we can get that push off of it either one way or another. So really want to focus on what happens here today at point of control. Do we get a push through it? Do we get a push off of it? Or do we just, magnet on it? And those are 3 scenarios that can always happen. So let's talk about a few key levels here, team. So if we take a look at my drawing set, it's going to get a little ugly on the way back up. We've had some good levels to focus on, but now, unfortunately, we're playing back into this big mess here. So our inflection points, the upside, aren't going to be the best here today. They worked nicely on the downside, but now we're kind of, in this little mess here. So here's the zones, guys, that I'm going to focus on for today. So first is this point of control zone, this 4140 with that 4160. That's where point of control has kind of shifted this month. So they've gone from that 4160 down to that 4140, giving us a nice little key zone here. Watching this little wick in between just to give us a nice structured zone. We got some levels below, which do stem from a while ago that we kind of tested yesterday. So the chart is getting a bit messy, but I am going to focus on the same principles here. If and when we can just hold this 41.20, we'll see if we can break through point of control and start to rally higher. If we take a look at the market's ATR of about 50 points, if we go from where we closed, we're up about 30. So ideally, we could have another 20 in us, which again gets us at 50 and gets us towards that old point of control. Vice versa here, team. If we start to break back below this key zone, looking for a drop down towards this 4100, and then yesterday's low, which sits at a nice key level of 40.81, which was already there. So we had a really nice test yesterday, and it continued to hold. So not the cleanest levels today, right? It's been a very volatile week, but we do have some sense of, zones that we could focus on here. So with the gap up, we just got the retail sales, and we're pretty much sitting in the same exact spot. So patience here today, team. Remember, we're in the middle of two zones. We just want to be a little bit patient. Again, we want to focus on either inflection point dip buys, inflection point breakdowns, or inflection point breakouts through this point of control. And then for NQ here, team, very simple, nice key levels. If we take a look at the daily chart here, they fell right to that daily cloud, right? We had a little level here that's kind of starting to shift, but I really want to focus on this 13,054 with this low here. Those are kind of the two biggest levels to watch. We also have the weekly 21 EMA, which is a nice key level. And really the focal point, guys, is getting back up to these key inflection points that we broke, which are also pretty much the 50-day moving average. So this is where we need to push through, or it's where we're going to get stuffed and work our way back down. Remember where point of control is for the market here. Up above at 13,488. If we take a look at NQ's ATR of about 250 points, if we look at the ATR, we're up about 170, so 250 gets us through this zone. Don't really expect point of control today, but is a magnet above that could, pull the market higher. We'll see. So just like ES here, team, we're in the middle of two zones. We're going to be very patient to start to see what happens. Do we drop and hold and get a nice pop, or do we just kind of consolidate and then start to work our way towards the next key trigger? We'll see. Let's talk about some setups here, guys. So the first one is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA is on my focus list for the following reasons. One is they've gotten their butt kicked for quite a while here, right? They've dropped. They're coming down to some serious inflection points. So remember, we want to find big key inflection points that you could combine using indicators. The first level here, guys, is the daily cloud top. If you take a look, we've had this cloud top here for quite a while, and we're going to have this cloud top for, the next few sessions here. So we literally, yesterday, we come down and we kiss it, and then we start to pop here. So this really is the biggest level to the downside. And what I'm zoning it with is the 200-day moving average, another really big line in the sand for big money. So this is our focal point on the downside here, team. Do we hold this key zone, and do we start to rally higher? If we break through this key zone, we could take a trip back down towards this 520, which is that next basic inflection point. Let's hop inside here and look at point of control. So point of control for NVIDIA currently sits above at about 572.37. So that becomes the first little magnet above, taking this basic inflection point of Thursday's high, right? So yesterday's high, and it also lines up with the 50-day moving average. So really nice level for us to crack through. If and when we could break through there, we simply have a shot, guys, up towards the highs of the week, right? Highs of Tuesday and Wednesday, which again is that point of control. So that's the main key zone that I want to focus on here. If we take a look at some intraday clouds, one level I want to watch your team is that 30-minute cloud. So remember in the class, we talked about the sequence where if it's below, it needs to start to shift above it in order to change, right? So it's been, below the 4-hour cloud for a while, below everything. So we need to start to break above those smaller clouds to start the reversal sequence. So the first one here to watch is that 30-minute cloud. And that's where this key zone, guys, stems from. So taking a nice little level of 550, and then taking this little cloud top that we're going to have to deal with today. Right now, we did gap through it. So I want to add that pre-market high as an inflection point. And then again, focus on this key zone here. If we can't get back above this 30-minute cloud and back through that pre-market high, NVIDIA's not going anywhere. Vice versa, if they do come back down here and test 550, that might be a really nice dip buy to then proceed this move back towards the 50 and back towards yesterday's high. However, guys, if it just kind of sits in between, there's not going to be much to do. If it does start to break down, we'll see if we take a trip back down to that daily cloud top. ATR for NVIDIA, about 20 points. So if we just go from the close, we are gapping up quite a bit here, team, about half of an ATR. So with another 20 points, 10 points, that gets us right to our key zone here, about 16 points away. POC is about 25 points away. So again, we just want targets, guys. We never know how far these names could run. But if they do keep going, if this, then that, if this, then that, we do have point of control to focus on. But I really just want to see, can we hold up? Can we start to clear that cloud and then push towards this 560 here? So let me share this chart, team. And I'm going to start to share these charts. You guys can open them and save them. So there's NVIDIA. And here's the options that I'll be focusing on to start the day. So remember we talked about in the class how to kind of think about options. We want to think about playing slightly OTM that fit our targets and fit the ATR. So remember, with ATR, we can get to this key zone. So I want to focus here, team, to start on NVIDIA 560 calls and 565 calls, right? Right around this little range here. That's where I'll be looking to play the first calls. I also have some puts on here just in case. So we get the 535s and the 540s, which just gets us back down to this key level. So let me share this option watch list with you guys as well. And yep, Emmanuel, let me take a screenshot of it and save that for you guys. There you go. All right, where did that go? I just got rid of my chart. There we are. So that's NVIDIA, team. Want to be very patient here. See if we get a retest of 550. See if you just start to hold and then break pre-market hard. You're going to look to take that shot up towards the 50-day moving average here. This is one nice setup to focus on. Another, guys, is Facebook. I'm not going to have it on my radar to start here, but it is going to be on another screen, just in case it does start to pop off. This is a very basic one here, team. Want to focus on this prior level here that we drop through. We felt a point of control and have just chopped nicely. So I want to focus on this little inflection point, which is pretty much our pre-market HOD, getting back towards that 313. So a very basic 3-point zone here for Facebook. About an 8-point ATR. So if we go from close, it's perfect, team, when you get ATR lining exactly with your key zone. So 8 points away gets us right to that 313. So this is a setup, guys, I'm going to watch. It's going to be a secondary setup, but if we pull back and hold point of control, good place to look for an entry. Vice versa, if we just kind of chop here, we'll see if we get that breakout later in the day or at any point. Greg, so with ATR, guys, make a watch list on Thinkorswim, or you can simply add it as an indicator in the daily chart. But you can add ATR in there. So if you go to the gear icon and just customize, you'll see a slot for ATR if you search it. If you throw that on there and you keep it at a daily length, you'll be able to see on my watch list here, every name's ATR. And that's just simply how we get that quick calculation. So for Facebook, team, just to look at some strikes, it's Friday, so they're going to be very cheap. I wouldn't go that far out. Again, I would focus on strikes that are realistic. So I would focus on the 310s here and anything right in that range. All right, even slightly in the money. So for Facebook, guys can focus right on the strikes that are right at the money. All right, moving on, team. Let's talk about Google. Another nice setup here. So some basic inflection points, guys. We hit the 50-day moving average on a daily chart. Gave us this nice little 2191 support. We have a nice little level here, which we gapped down. It was kind of resistance, which we're gapping above and holding. So I really like that one. We have a nice key basic inflection zone above, guys, zoned with point of control and the daily 21 EMA, which both act as really good magnets. So again, if we just check POC here, there it is. We fall towards it, we get a little far away, and it looks like we're starting the journey back higher. So if we take a look at Google here, we're going to have to be picky, guys, on the strikes. You know, with the gap up, they're going to be a little more expensive. So this is a name where ideally I would actually like to see a little bit of a pullback, or at least just some consolidation to kind of make these options cheaper on the gap up. And then we'll look to play them if and when it looks good. So if Google, guys, can just continue its push, ATR about 50 points, right, gets us to that key zone here, team. So we'll see if it holds 2248. We'll see if it pulls back a bit towards yesterday's HOD. So we can make a little zone here. And then I want to look for that push up towards this 2291. So for strikes, guys, I'll be watching 2250s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. The reason I have so many calls is because I want to see, one, where are they priced at? And two, where do they start to hit for volume? So they all realistically can go in the money, but we would just want to get a sense of what's the best strike to play. So that's going to be on my list. Let me share this one with you. Here's the Google chart. And let's see, guys, next setup is snow. Believe it or not, snow is on the list. So if you guys remember from the class, we want to focus on names that do have catalysts. So snow has a potential catalyst today that could drive it higher. If we take a look, they were one of the few names this morning that actually got a really nice upgrade. So Snow upgraded to buy from neutral at Goldman, raising their price target, PT, to 275. Way above here, guys. Way above. So bullish, bullish, bullish. Given Snowflake's strong competitive position, right? Just good thoughts here, guys. And for sake of time, I'm going to move on. But this is the bullish catalyst. So very simple zones here for Snow. Focusing on yesterday's HOD, right around point of control. Getting back up to this big push here. We have a nice little key level in between, which pretty much is pre-market HOD. So we'll see here, team. Do they pull back to POC and hold, and then break pre-market HOD and finish the job to 204? Do they pull back to pre-market low, and we get a little dip by back up to POC? Or do they just hold yesterday's HOD, break that 200, and finish the job to 204? ATR of 11 points. So the only one to be cautious, guys, on this is it's already gapping up in ATR. Anytime that happens, just be patient. It can still see more, especially with a catalyst, but always want to be cautious when a name gaps up its full ATR. So I'm actually going to drop point of control in here as well, team, and then I will share this chart with you. And then we got to get ready for Bell here. Never enough time to prep, unfortunately. And yeah, guys, Lauren or an admin, I don't know if will you guys be able to copy those and just post me alerts. I can thank you, Lauren, I appreciate it. Just run out of time here, guys. Want to get ready for opening bell. So all right, team, we should have our watch list here. There's a few names in there that we didn't get to cover, but right, we got our options, we got our charts, we got our inflection points. Hopefully everyone's good to go here. I'm gonna reset my screen and show you guys what we will be focusing on to start this session here. So my other screen, team, I will have Google and Facebook up as a secondary watch, but on our main screen here, guys, we're gonna focus on SPX, NVIDIA, and Snow to start the overall session. So if you guys are used to my option sessions in the gold room, this is going to be much different here, team. You know, we're going to spend all of our time just simply watching and learning from price action. So I'll take questions, I'll take comments, but we're really just going to focus on trying to internalize the system here. And yep, Jewel, let me share Facebook real quick. It's a 1 minute chart, Jules, but if you flip back, you'll be good. All right, team, and we're a little late here. Let me get back. So remember, guys, it's Friday. We have, 4 hours together today. We're in absolutely no rush to take, small trades. We want to focus on finding good-looking trades that truly fit the system. So let's wait and see, team, but happy Friday. Ding, ding, ding. So again, let me just get set up here, team. And then we'll get to work. So one big thing to focus on for SPX is this gap fill ahead. We have a gap fill on the chart from 4162 to 4188. Gonna keep an eye on that. Very quickly, we're at point of control. So again, guys, let me just get set up here. I apologize. All right, now we're good to go. So I'm gonna do my best, guys, to post alerts if and when we take a trade, but just make sure you pay attention, listen, and we'll hopefully be on the same page here. And I'm gonna call stuff out, guys, on other screens, like such as Facebook right now, breaking 310. I'll let you know if I plan to trade these things, but really gonna focus on trading what's in front of me currently. And if you guys see any call outs, feel free to call it out and I'll take a look and just help you guys. Again, here to help you internalize this system. Bill, so with point of control, we just want to mark that level. And then whatever chart you go on, such as a 1 minute here, like snow, we can know where point of control sits. So again, for snow, guys, we want to see, does it just base here at point of control? Maybe we get that 1 minute cloud breakout. Be ready to go, guys. So with your option watch list, start to pay attention to the premium that things open at and the volume that they are starting to accumulate. That's what we want to focus on here, team. So let's just keep watching for now. We got a long day ahead. And for snow, guys, the 200 calls look the best. They're currently getting the most volume on the chain. That's what I'll have, locked and loaded here to go if we get the trigger. So hopefully everyone has their active traders up or something like that. And now we just wait, team. We just wait. We'll start to watch some tape at these key levels. So now we're rejecting our key zone and we're holding point of control. Let's let it find its feet, see which way it wants to go. And if I'm quiet at any point, guys, I'm just, digesting it. I'll make sure I, comment on anything important. Other than that, I'm just thinking in my own head to better help you guys. And remember, team, this is a game of patience. So a few minutes in, there might not be anything to do. It all depends. You just got to stay ready. I think Abraham Lincoln said it best. Stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. Something like that. Yeah, Elroy, prep is key, my friend. You want to have your key levels. You want to have everything in advance. So that's why I wanted to share with you guys a prep process just to make your jobs and lives easier. So here goes snow, guys. Starting the journey off point of control. Don't want to rush into this one yet because remember, it's below that 1 minute cloud. So technically starting the day intraday a little bit bearish. But if we can start to hold point of control, work our way back through this zone and these key moving averages, then we might have a nice breakout through that cloud. Remember, guys, clouds give you that forward projection. So at any point, we'll have to deal with it in the same kind of spot here. ES finally gave point of control that kiss. So we get the magnet to quickly a little downside cannon. We'll pay attention, guys, if both ES and NQ can hold their 5 minute cloud. Hey, Moose, good morning, brother. Good to see you. And Ding, so, and again, guys, I don't want to spend this time teaching. That's why you have the class recording, but, I am here to help you internalize it. So point of control, guys, is that level where the most amount of volume has occurred over the month. So again, it acts as a magnet and it acts as a cannon. So, for ES here, we've just been dragged up towards it. We can chop on it or get pushed off of it. So Facebook guys quickly getting away from us, already halfway through that key zone. So not on my radar. So I'm not going to chase that one, but broke nicely through that 310, almost at 313, fairly fast. So again, Team Snow, just coiling here. The longer things coil, the more information we get, the better decisions we can make. That's really the key with trading. It's just let things sit, pull information, and then when it's time to execute, we have more information to make better decisions. So again, we just want to see Snow here. Does it start to ramp? Does it continue to hold POC? And does it start to break through these moving averages and then start the journey possibly? We're going to keep a very close eye on it here. And remember from our tape reading session, guys, there's somebody sitting at this key level. So this was yesterday's high. We gapped through it, and now we're below it, and we're finding that resistance. So remember, the ask size on the tape kind of dictates the wall that we need to get through. Patience, patience, my friends. We got NVIDIA here starting to just base, stuck inside the 1 minute cloud, pre-market hot above. And I'm trying, guys, not to put too much on my screen just for an easy visual, but we do need at least all of this on here to make our jobs work. So far, guys, like we talked about, can we get through point of control? Can we get that kind of, cannon effect through it? So far, we're just getting that slight rejection. So we're just going to set a quick alert here and see if it gets through it. Brent, way more volume on OTM puts on SPX. Uh-oh. Snowman, big fight. So again, guys, start to pay attention to volume. So far in the Snow 200 calls, almost 1,000 of volume here. So they're just slowly accumulating it. All right, here goes starting the journey. A little nice pop. Again, guys, not convinced yet. Still got to get through clouds. Still got to, get some bids through this 196.5 and hold. So remember our tape video. We could pop through it, team, but if no bids step up, it's a false breakout happening, possibly. We'll keep watching this one closely. Right? We don't mess with false breakouts. And yep, Gregory, this will be recorded. So he doesn't go back, watch, listen, study. So again, team, hard to watch a ton of things, but yeah, Google making a big move. Facebook just went zone to zone like nothing. So unfortunately, we missed that one, 310 to 313. So go back, guys, and just study that zone. We'll take a look at it once things settle. But again, one inflection point, right to the next. Sometimes you're just not watching everything. But again, here to help you guys internalize it. Do I wait for a candle close before taking a trade? Nope, not necessarily. I just wait for, confirmation as much as possible. So market, guys, a little pop and then just sideways here. So we got to continue to practice some patience until we shape up. NQ just kind of chopping in place. ES going to have to make up its mind here. All right, here comes Snow, team. And again, it's just getting big resistance. I want to rush into this one, but it's looking ready. Ken, this is tape, not active trader. Remember that, guys. All right, Snow looking good here, team. We can let's see, we can look for an entry. Nice big pop. Got to deal with this cloud though. Let's see, guys, haven't entered yet. Being a bit patient. Yep. Keep being patient. Ideally, guys, need to break that cloud. But Ken, yeah, I have the options on my active trader, and this is just tape, just to clear that up. So Snow guy's trying to trick us, but we got our cloud. I'm gonna wait for that cloud. Mark, why trade SPX over SPY? They just make bigger moves, you know, premium wise. All right, wow. Yep, lifelong learner. So exactly, guys, the cloud is bearish here, so that's why we're not rushing into it yet, right? Until we can clear that, guys, technically the trend for today is still bearish, so we're not rushing into calls. You know, we're watching it to get a sense of when it's ready, start to look good here, and then completely failed. So again, guys, these little tools can just keep you out of trouble. And yep, Michael, definitely watch ADD. Works the same way. So we got a little pullback here, team, to that 550 on NVIDIA. Just going to keep an eye on that one. Snow bouncing off point of control yet again. As you guys can see, you know, it's only been 15 minutes, but it is a game of patience. You really don't want to come in and force stuff. The longer you wait, you know, the more clear the picture gets, the more setups we see unfolding. That's how you get that one good trade, team. So going to do my best to help you guys find that one good trade, but we definitely got to be patient with this volatile market. Google quickly back down. Keen, do you have any problems exiting on larger contracts for SPX 0 days? Yeah, I mean, it can be hard to get in out of SPX even with smaller size. It really helps to lock into momentum, Keen. So just be careful sizing into SPX. It's one of those names where you can actually size down and capitalize on the move. Lifelong learner. When 1 minute is bullish and the 5 minute is bearish, what do you infer from the cloud? So you want to kind of combine them both. And if you have an example of, you know, a name like that, let me know and I'll take a look at it. But you kind of want to just play it by ear where, you know, see if it reacts well at the 1 minute, but if it breaks the 1 minute and rejects the 5 minute cloud, you want to be very careful. All right. So I didn't teach internals, guys, in my class, but this is something that in the live sessions we are going to continue to slowly talk about and introduce. But for now, they're just kind of pulling back and giving us a little reset to the day. So one thing I'm noticing, guys, is NQ is lagging and YM and ES are leading the way. So some of the names on our watch list aren't going to get as much love right now because money is going into YM. For things like Google, NVIDIA, etc., they're getting a little selling here, but it's okay. So ES, guys, made it through our point of control level. So see if it gets that cannon up to the next key. And we'll see what starts to rally with it. Man, Snow right off a point of control again. Melinda, do I have a special cloud? The candles on my toss, Snow, 2-day, 1-minute chart is above the cloud. Yours is below the cloud. Melinda, do you have after hours on? Melinda, that's interesting. If you guys should have the same cloud as me. I don't have a special one here. I just have after hours on. Ken, are you going to show when you're placing the trade? Yeah, I'm gonna do my best, my friend. I have my active trade on another screen just to save room space. So I'll be screaming out, when I click the button. So your guys' Snow is actually different than mine? That's interesting. Shouldn't be. Karen, your cloud's the same? Yeah, I'm not. It should be the same, guys. Make sure you're on, the right time frame, a 1-minute chart, after hours on. It should not look different. Okay, added aftermarket, now it shows. Yep, make sure, guys, those little keys make a big difference. Recon, yeah, you can definitely look for names that have big volume, like a Plug. Plug was up a lot this morning pre-market because of news. So like we talked about, guys, that can be a nice catalyst to focus on. And I'll be watching the 200 calls on Snow if and when it's ready to rumble. So as you can see, guys, sometimes it chops until it gets near that cloud, and maybe we break through it. But for now, this is just chop. Guys, the 2-day or 1-day for your chart doesn't really matter. I usually use 2 days just to, give myself a little more room on the chart. But yeah, JD, chop, chop, chop. American chop suey. So remember, guys, scalping is a skill set where you'll always have it. So again, we're gonna trade, but we're not just gonna force trades together, team. I'm not here to help you guys lose money. I'm here to help you understand the system and take really good trades. So, we'll pray the market gods that we get some opportunity. We most likely will, but definitely, guys, a lot of patience. So that's why I'll, answer a lot of questions and really just help you guys internalize this. And yep, guys, for Snow to rumble, we at least need to, get above that cloud. We need to hold this zone. We keep holding point of control, so let it kind of coil here. Yeah, right, Jim? We can lose our money on our own. Good call, Dan. 1.3 million on Amazon calls. Wow. So XCT, not much to do. The only trade that we covered that unfolded was Facebook, but that happened almost instantly. So let's actually pull it up and look at it. Because again, I want to drive home learning lessons, whether we're taking the actual trades or not. So feel free to call out anything today, guys, that might have happened, and we can go break it down. But remember, we want to play inflection point to inflection point. So with a name like Facebook, it quickly opens, holds our key moving averages, and then fires very fast. So again, guys, sometimes they happen very fast. Sometimes they happen very slow. A name like Facebook was a gap and go, but it's still the same premise, guys, where you have one trigger that leads straight to the next trigger, right? So we drew the zone together, guys, and this is exactly what zone to zone looks like. And now it just pulls back, and we'll see if it breaks out of it and continues to the next level, or if it just chops. Remember, team, it's that zone to zone. So this was an awesome trade fitting the system. Opened above 1 minute cloud, nice and bullish. Quickly broke the zone with strength. Bye-bye. So again, guys, I just hope this makes sense. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, Jules, it that one flew. We ain't catching that one. So far here, guys, just a slight little gap up for the market. It's just grinding this 8 EMA. We'll keep watching what we're watching. No rush here. One thing I do want to focus on, guys, is NVIDIA. Whenever a name hits a key level, I like to focus on if it starts to make a slight little uptrend here for a double bottom and then started to ramp higher. So we'll keep an eye on this one. And Snow, man, this level is not being nice. So, Dick, the NVIDIA cloud's a little messy. So whenever the cloud's a bit messy, guys, you can't, I don't want to say ignore it, but let it get cleaner. So like a snow cloud, we have a really clean snow cloud today. Where NVIDIA's starting to look a little wonky. So when that happens, I focus more so on the actual zones themselves. Man, what a slow grind here for Mama Market. And yeah, guys, make sure you check the class resources. I did a video as promised, breaking down a fresh chart with zones. I broke down ES and NQ, the levels I had and how they unfolded. And also did a video, guys, helping you set up every indicator. So make sure you take an eye and peek at that one. Chris, if you see the cloud flat, does that indicate chop or really doesn't matter? It just indicates, a basic level. So like right here, Chris, it gets very thin, gets very flat. It's just a nice key level, which just pretty much is our zone here for Snow. So right here, guys, missed a good entry, but whenever you hit a key level and then give a higher low, remember we talked about that low risk entry with that potential high reward above. So this was actually a good one here that I missed. We'll keep watching it though. This looks like Snow is about ready here, team. All right, Snow off to the races. All right, just grab some Snow calls, guys. And again, I'm trying my best to do alerts here. I apologize, guys. I'm so damn slow in these alerts. So Snow 200 calls at 120 here, team. Let's go. See if we can get that pre-market push, guys. Up about 25% fairly fast. Let's keep watching the tape here, team. What are we going to run into? What are we going to run into? So up about 20%, guys. We'll keep this tight. We'll risk back below that zone in that cloud. Nice little volume spike. You need these bidders to keep stepping up here, guys. Got a good entry. Now just need to be patient. Let the system unfold. Keep it tight. Make sure, guys, don't trade with crazy size on Fridays. Have fun. Try to learn the system. Let's see. Market, little pause, but continuing higher. So remember, team, we want to focus on do these things hold their 8 EMA. If we can push here through HOD and work back to 200, it's a good place to look to manage your account and lock this trade in for a quick scalp. And oh, it's trying here, guys. Nice push, team. We got some big sellers in the tape. So let's see, up about 35%. Gonna look to lock this one in a minute as we push towards HOD. Kind of just sitting here, team. We ran into some pretty big sellers there in the tape, guys, so keep this one tight. We're still in some green, but snow is a choppy one. See if we can turn around and give us another pop to get out of this one. Would have liked to see it push through there and continue higher. Don't really like that fail here. Let's see, we'll get a little wiggle room, up about 10% currently. So I'd look to exit, guys, if we can just pop here to that pre-market HOD. See if we can just continue to hold the 8. As you've been taught, nice little trend. Trade still valid as long as it holds. Let's get some bidders above 198 here. Let's keep holding. Let's keep holding. All right, awesome, guys. I am locking this one up here as we start to push. All right, guys, I am filled on a little lock at 155. Yeah, Steven, I can, if you guys want, I can do my active trader on here. But I'm just cautious of how much I add on one screen. But I'll let us know, guys, 120 to 155, and you can still just grind this and try to get this exit through the HOD. I apologize, guys. Bear with me. I'll get better at these alerts here. I'll scream the price. I'll scream everything. But Tom, just pay for the class, my man. All right, guys, that's all it takes. Patience, 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 strike. And you can still ride this one here. I'm getting my little piece. But remember, team, as long as it holds the 8, it just needs to clear this wall here of sellers. And wow, remember that NVIDIA trade we talked about, guys? Hit a key level, do higher lows, and then zone to zone. So this was another amazing trade where you have very minimal risk and all that upside reward. So another awesome trade. Didn't quite catch that one. Ken, yeah. So it all depends, my friend. You know, zone to zone. This is a big zone, so you know we got a nice tight entry here, and I want to look to lock it up near 200. But you got to play it by ear. So when we run into sellers, and we are fighting, you want to slowly lock in your piece. Because yes, it can go zone to zone, but we're kind of scalping it. So I'd look to play it now through 200 if possible. Kirk, 50% NVIDIA. Awesome, man. This was a great trade, guys. And let me know if everyone understands these two trades, because again, I just want to help internalize things where 550 was our zone below. Whenever, guys, you hit a zone, never buy it right away. But if you can get a pop and then a higher low, that's where you get the low risk entry, guys, back below 550 for a push back up towards this key level, which again is that 30-minute cloud. So this is actually a phenomenal trade. Just can't trade 100 things at once, guys, but I hope that trade makes sense. Another thing, guys, on Friday, with holding is you don't want to hold too long. When you scalp and you catch your piece, consider getting out and, getting in when you can again. But Snow holding nicely, holding the 8. SPX almost at that gap filled trigger. Man, beautiful NVIDIA trade. Kind of wish we grabbed that one. So Snow, guys, if for some reason you're not out of it, again, be very careful what happens here at 200. We're kind of, running into some sellers. Ken, am I looking at underlying equity for volume activity using the active trader? So underlying volume, Ken, I just focus on the stock itself, and then I look at the option volume that they're hitting for certain strikes. So this is why, guys, I'm trying to teach some lessons. You want to lock into momentum. With Snow higher, premium is actually slightly lower, and that's why on Fridays you do gotta just be a little bit flexible on entries and exits. But we get a nice key level coming here on Snowflake. NVIDIA, beautiful. So give me a thumbs up in the chat, guys, if you understand this NVIDIA trade, because this truly is a textbook trade, and so is the Snow trade. So just let me know if you guys are all on the same page here. Full thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's the essence of scalping, guys. Wait, hits your inflection point, higher lows, boom. Snow, wait. As long as it holds POC, breaks that cloud, we got a trade team, right? We just want to wait for those triggers. And all right, we got a lot of thumbs up. Awesome. So Snow team, let's watch. Pre-market high, let's watch the tape together. Want to pay attention to those 200s. And those premiums, guys, just made another high of day. Steven, would I use open interest instead of volume? I personally don't. I prefer volume because it shows me, what's happening rather than what's available. DPS, great question. So again, guys, it's never super exact like that where you can't trade NVIDIA because the cloud's above. It's, really focusing, guys, on combining things and getting really good risk reward entries. So yes, NVIDIA is below the 1 minute cloud, but when it hits a key inflection point, right, guys, inflection points mean more than indicators. Let me just set that straight, right? I'd rather play off 550 than let it see what happens at the cloud. The 550 means more. So just basic price action, guys, right? When you hit inflection points and you get that double bottom, that's where you can get extremely tight risk reward. So yeah, it does have to deal with that cloud. But if you wait for that cloud, the trade is kind of gone at this point where we had a good level, it based and started to ramp. So it's almost like taking a shot at it, controlling that very minimal risk. So yes, it was below the cloud. And that's why I name like Snow, where it's best to wait for the cloud because, we're not really hitting inflection points or doing anything until we start to clear it and then accelerate. So I hope that helps, guys. Again, you want to combine the two and just always add a little context. Here goes Snow team. Those options pumping a little bit more if you're still in it. Elroy, if Snow rejects 200, would you play it down to VWAP? No, my friend, not necessarily. I have a bullish bias on it currently because of the upgrade, because it's gotten its butt kicked so much where I rather let it hit 200, pull back to VWAP, and then we reload again. Tommy, when price gets outside the top of a zone, is that typically major resistance? Do you talk about the crosses of your chart in the video? When it crosses a zone, Tommy, yes. So, you know, every zone is comprised of inflection points. So you want to play it, guys, from zone to zone. So, you know, with NVIDIA here, right? If you catch this bottom, ideally your target wants to be that 30, and then you exit. And now when it breaks above it and holds, you have another trade leaving. But it kind of just plays ping pong in between them. Yep, Pat, absolutely. I'll explain why I exit Snow early. So with Snow, guys, one, it's a very tricky name, right? It chops a lot. We got a really good entry on 0 days. And then two, we caught momentum, and then I recognized a lot of sellers on the tape. So we had a lot of sellers here, guys. So again, it's that happy balance on Friday of just keeping it tight. You know, so it popped a good amount. So I just took my piece and on to the next trade. So technically, yes, you could keep holding this. It's grinding the moving averages. It's sitting at the key level. It's just a happy balance, guys, of, you know, hitting your own goals. So nailed that entry, took a nice little piece from Snow, and I'll look to keep trading it here. Awesome, guys. Great job on Snow. Nice, Dylan. Good stuff, team. And be careful here. We hit that key level, and looks like we ran into some sellers. So we're headed right back to that magnet on point of control. And remember, team, the key moving averages we talked about. So the 8 on SPX here is kind of that fastest trend until it breaks it. Then the mean is next. It broke the mean. So at this point, guys, we have a good chance of potentially drifting towards that cloud. Nice, Chris. In at 1 out at 1.9. My man, 90% return. Let's go. Bill, yes, I do. I do watch the squeeze. Not really on a 1-minute chart. I think that's just too much. But I love a 5-minute chart. So Snow, guys, completing its little mission here. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. And Steven, congrats, man. 52% on Snow. Let's go. Awesome work, guys. And there's a big pop in Snow. So remember, team, you know, whether I lock or not, whatever, it's just try to internalize this system, guys, because we all get better at entries and exits, etc. But remember, as long as it technically holds the 8 here and ignore that algo candle, you can still grind it out, team. You know, now the premiums are much higher. But again, on Fridays, get your piece. But just internalize the system here, team. Opens under the cloud, nothing to do. Doesn't go below point of control. So that's a good key, good key, good key. Starts to ramp, big pop. Bye-bye, Snowflake. Yep, Mulder, we're working on the entries, guys. I'll scream, I'll post it. I'm gonna try my best, I promise. Awesome, BC. Good stuff, man. Thank you, Trip. So Snow, guys, they're about 2.4 now. So, you know, a nice double if you held it. And yeah, Michael, at this point, I would wait, my friend. I'd wait for an entry. Milo, great question. Do you pay attention to the time of day during a session? For example, 15 minutes after the bell or the move that may happen. So yeah, guys, you'll notice, and it's never, hold on, Snow is absolutely beast mode. So again, guys, everything's hindsight. Yes, it's going higher, so don't be like, Chan, why'd you lock, man? Come on. Because if we locked and it dumped, I'd be the hero. So congrats if you're still in it, guys. Awesome, awesome trade. Again, just want to help you guys truly master the system. But back to Milo's question. So yeah, Milo, you'll notice and again, it's never exact, but pay attention to 30 minutes in. Pay attention to what happens at 10:30 Eastern, an hour after the bell, 30 minutes after the bell, etc. Because oftentimes, guys, they turn on machines, right? Algos get turned on 15 minutes in, and there'll be a buy program. 30 minutes in, they'll turn on a sell program. So it is good to note the time, just in case. But again, it's not one of those things where, all right, here comes 10:30, get ready. And give me a minute, guys. I'll catch up on questions here in a second. I just want to make sure we're watching our stocks. Video, beautiful pullback. David, do you limit or market entry when you execute your trades? David, I always try limit first because it's more controllable, especially in 0 days to market in. You never know what to expect. So I always try to control my entries first. And if I'm having trouble getting filled with limits, I will market in, but market's kind of my last resort. Let it snow, let it snow. I'll stop singing. LEI, single tape is confusing for me. Could you explain? So yeah, guys, this is just a single tape. All right, so it's just showing me one name, just a pop out I have, and right, it's true tape reading. So I won't explain tape here, guys. I made a whole video on that, but it's showing us the buyers and sellers that are making this move actually happen. So remember, when we were here this morning, there was so many sellers, guys. They let us through, and then we got completely destroyed. But remember, trading is a battle. Right? That's why you see I have a war watch list. I like to just mentally think of this game like war. It's like truly a battle. So Snow couldn't break through this wall, but guess what? They held point of control every time. So like we talked about, team, see what happens at point of control. Just like this morning, if we break that level, see what happens at POC. Okay, great. It held POC. Now it continues, and then boom, they finally take over, right? They win the fight. So when they get through this key level here, that means they've won. And we can watch that fight happen, guys, on the tape. And that's why when we caught that pop and we were here, there was quite a bit to deal with. So that's why I took my profits. And yes, it got through it and kept going. Now it just ran into another wall. So go watch that video, guys, on tape reading and be patient with the skill set. But it really helps you. Like right here, when we popped through, there was not a single bid and we dropped right back down. So it takes a little bit to master, but it really helps you, understand the game. Heather, if Facebook is able to get above the zone, would you enter? Heather, looks great. The only thing I'd be mindful of, remember our pre-market discussion, is that it already made an ATR move. So yes, through 313, that zone we had is technically the next trigger. We just want to make sure that we're not asking it to do too much, right? Could it go to 316? Yeah, but technically that's above its, average pay grade. So kind of tough there, Heather. I think the first trade was the better one. Doesn't mean you can't look for the second, but always want to focus on A+ trades and, kind of minimize the secondary trades, so to speak. Chris, do you scale out usually or all at once? Chris, so usually I scale out Right now I'm trading a small account because I'm actually moving around some money. So I'm just going in and out, you know, in with one, out with one, just do it all at once. But typically, full system, I like to get them all at once and then scale out at each target. So like Snow, for example, you get your entry here, you lock some here, and you just kind of, let it see, if it keeps holding, that's when you can truly go zone to zone. So it's easier to go zone to zone with size because again, you're getting your entry and you're just scaling out. So that's my advice. One thing I wouldn't do, guys, is keep adding to your position. So if you got an entry here, right, either make this a separate trade or don't add more here. Because if you add here and it pulls back, it kind of messes up your risk reward, if that makes sense. Where again, guys, if you're trading one contract or, smaller size, whatever, and you take one trade, that's when you want to now lock it and then wait for another good entry. So, a retest and then play this one back up, for example. But that's my advice, guys. When I was practicing scaling, one of the things that I first did when I started to scale into things was I would try to add multiple layers. So, I would nail my first entry and then I would completely F up the second entry and it would ruin my trade. So I really learned to fight for that first initial entry and then, scale out as it goes, kind of like Snow is doing right now. We'll see team almost zone to zone to zone. And those contracts are about 3 from about $1 if you're still playing them. Stretch, I'm on power E-Trade, so I'm kind of sucking air trying to keep up, but still following along and enjoying the info. Yeah, guys, and again, I know this is a faster style of trading for most, and if your platform isn't, used to it, just absorb the info, guys. I promise, this will serve you for life if you can just, internalize what's happening here. Yep, Trip, consistency over home runs. Amen, my friend. Becky, I took my own trade yesterday in the middle of the day using your system. Made about 325 a contract in 40 minutes. Let's go, Becky. This is definitely usable at any time. It's all about learning. Love that, Becky. Awesome comment. Thank you for that. Sylvia, great question. Is there a way to know if an algo is being turned on by volume or something else? So yeah, Sylvia, what you'll notice, guys, and this happened the other day. I wish I wrote down which day it was. At 10 o'clock Eastern time, so 30 minutes after the bell, they turned on a buy program. Amazon popped, Google popped, Nvidia popped, Square popped, Roku popped, all for like 10 minutes straight. So the only really way, guys, to see that is by watching a few things and noticing like, oh, they're all popping and it's, top of the hour or whatever. So again, it's not, I wish it was something that had a schedule because we'd all be very wealthy, but it is something, guys, you can just observe by watching charts. And man, really nice NVIDIA trade here. Unfortunately, missed this one. Martin, would you share that chart setup? Which one, Martin? Just this whole little pack of charts I got here? Because if so, yeah, absolutely. Cardi, what are the tags showing crosses X on your chart? Oh, that's Jeff. That's just an alert, guys. So you can set alerts on levels. So if I right click on a key level here and toss, you see, guys, create alert with drawing. If you do that, crosses above or below. So we want crosses above. That's what's going to show you the crosses sign. So if you see that, it's just an alert I have set. Steven, booting up the second monitor. And remember, guys, I know this can seem like a lot, but it's one of those things where you truly could just trade two names. You could have up NVIDIA today and you could have up the market. Two charts, one execution thing, and you're good to go. It's just knowing how to, trade this thing. Tom, you said you would reload on a pullback to VWAP. Do you always watch that level on a 1 minute chart, or which time frame? Yeah, Tom, great question. So I love VWAP's going to be the same on a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart. Since I usually am watching a 1 minute, I'll just keep it on there. SPX, man, what a gap and slow grind. Let me see, guys. I got a few more questions here. Let me keep pumping. Adam, to time entry and exit, are you focusing more on tape or reading candles on the 1 minute chart? Adam, more on reading tape because, the candle itself is going to be a reflection of what's happening on the tape. So always remember that, guys. People used to trade by simply just reading order flow, until things got fancy and we got, beautiful little candles that we can visualize. But remember, why the skill set is so important is that is what's creating the candles. So the candle can be a better visual, Adam, but I think it's important to understand, what's going into that candle. So it's kind of a combination of both, where on a move like Snow, where it pops so hard, you're not really going to see that on the tape. You're going to see it on the candle. But then you understand that that was created by the tape. And then I want to see, okay, does it continue? So it's a combination of both, where on Snow, we were watching the tape, we were having absolute trouble. Then out of nowhere, they destroyed those sellers. So it's time to go, and it's time to watch the tape to confirm that they're going to continue to win that battle. I hope that makes sense. Gerald, thank you, my friend. We'll put Snow on the radar. So Snow, guys, this was actually a great example of a name with a very basic catalyst. So remember what we talked about in the class. We want to find names, guys, that have a reason for people to be watching it. And one of those simple reasons, guys, can be an upgrade. So remember, this was the news that we got at 7:22 in the morning, right? I wasn't even going to trade Snow today, but because it got an upgrade, it now becomes a little more of a focal point than a name like Roku, who just really doesn't have anything going on. So this is why, guys, Snow was put on my watch list. This was the catalyst that we had. And then I go in and found really good key levels. So it's really as simple as that. Pat, do you trail stops in your orders? I do not, Pat. I just kind of mentally do it. Vinny, let's go, my friend. First option trade on Snow. More importantly, it makes sense. Yes, sir. That's awesome, guys. Let's go. All right, remember, team, that 1 minute cloud can be your best friend. So even on NVIDIA, if you don't want to take the secondary trade, once it breaks that cloud and then holds that cloud right at that VWAP, there's your second trade. So many little trades, guys, all day. We're not going to be able to hit them all, but I'll make sure that we understand all of them. That's my goal here. Jules, would I short Facebook now? I would not. So remember, guys, every stock tells us something. Facebook is extremely strong today. It might not go higher, and it might not go lower. So don't get too caught up, guys, trying to play both ways on a trade. That's my advice. You can if you play off inflection points, but when it's strong, it means it might just go sideways now. It might not give you a good downside opportunity. So I just wouldn't force it there. And yeah, Heather, I just seen your comment here. I know I'm a little late in the chat, but that's the key, guys, is really, I'll share a little quick story here. Throughout my, trading journey, throughout my career, I've really had to decipher what I call A+ trades from, B, C, whatever grade you want to give it, where there's always that first trade that you planned. So Facebook, for example, it was that zone to zone breakout. That's the trade that you want to focus on hitting. That's the trade that you don't want to miss, right? That's the one that we planned. So that's the trade where if you miss it, there can still be others, but most of the time, guys, you want to kind of hold yourself back when it comes to taking those just secondary and third trades on a name, because there's just so many opportunities where wait for that A plus pitch. And man, oh man, NVIDIA, this one truly got away from myself today, team. That dip buy was just perfect. Arg. NQ, guys, really nice 5-minute cloud hold today. ES held their 5-minute cloud, carving up toward key zones. A lot of nice stuff unfolding today. Hope it's all making sense. So let me answer a few questions here, guys. Dylan, when you see snow hold pocket a few times like that, do you ever take a feeler? Yeah, Dylan, absolutely, man. So again, guys, the key with scalping is to control your risk and get really good entries. So when you're bouncing at point of control left and right and you hold it for 30 minutes, yeah, Dylan, you could absolutely put a little feeler right there saying like, all right, I'll get rid of this one if it breaks below point of control. Right now it's not. So, at that point, guys, you're getting an entry at about 70 cents on the options, and they went to 3, right? So do, quick math there. That's a almost 300% return. So more confirmation, the merrier, Dylan. But yeah, again, guys, it's all about controlling your risk and trading at inflection points. So if you see it just sitting here, right, maybe after that little huge drop and then hold, you get that tight risk again. And then let us see what happens, and you're catching a phenomenal trade here. Dr. HPA, Fidelity now no longer accepts option trades on the day of expiration. What? Wow, are you serious? That is ugly. All right, guys, let me catch up with the chat here. Mark, I do have Amazon. Let me check that out. Let's keep this strategy between us and not let JC in on the secret. Believe it or not, guys, he probably knows everything. All right, guys, hold on. I'm getting a lot of questions here. Let's man, kind of bummed to miss NVIDIA here. Something I want to note, guys, is the 560 calls got loaded this morning. They were the only strike that had volume. When we were here, they had 1,000 volume. Now we're at 560. Just a little hint there. All right, guys, we're running here, so let me just keep going these questions, and I'll share this dashboard in a second. Greg, what ATR length do I like for scalping? Not sure what you mean by that, Greg. If you mean like what ATR range do I like for a name to have, at least like 10 points. I don't really focus on names that have very small ATRs, like 2 points or something like that. So most of the names on my watch list have, at least an 8-point ATR. And there's names like Google that have a 50. So I hope that's answering your question. If not, let me know. Seeing a few questions, guys, about the news list I shared. That's in the class folder, and it's on the slide deck. Let me know if you need it again, but everything should be there. And Neil, on NVIDIA, what is that dotted line at 558? Great question, my friend. That is pre-market HOD. So I always focus on pre-market levels. Snow, guys, going zone to zone to zone. Obviously only caught a little piece of it, but this is awesome. Market just kind of sideways here. Getting our first test at 1 minute cloud for the overall market. AFD, are you ever concerned about the spread between bid and ask? Yeah, man, that's definitely a concern for option traders. And my only advice there is, don't trade a name that has a very large spread. So, for example, Shopify and TTD, they have just horrible spreads. Like I'm talking horrible. It'd be a $4 spread sometimes. I just don't trade that crap. On Snow right now, it's a 10-cent spread. That's comfortable, right? That's where you want to trade. So I'm only ever concerned about it when it's just extremely wide. Because then it's like, you could get filled and be down a buck on the contract, and that's just not acceptable. Brent, great question. Yeah, so when something is in a slow grind like SPX, I usually just don't trade it, Brent. It might look like it's a good move here, but for scalpers, there's not much happening here, right? It's just, can you buy that 8 dip? Yeah, but this ideally isn't when I want to trade the overall market. Because again, look at ES here, guys. It's just like, doesn't really want to move, where I rather trade things that are moving like this. And man, oh man, NVIDIA left me at the train station in the dust. Nice, FK. In at 80 cents on NVIDIA, out at 2.7. Beast mode. Great trade. All right, guys, this NVIDIA is just going zone to zone here. And again, I'm not going to be able to catch everything, guys, between, answering questions, etc. But as long as it makes sense, I'm accomplishing my mission here. Mark, where did you see that NVIDIA 560 call volume load? So on your option watch list, guys, that's why this volume is so important to watch. You can watch the volume, and you can also just go to the chain. So whenever the market opens and starts to set up, so NVIDIA is setting up, it's just kind of sitting here. You can go one and look at your option chain, or you can look at your watch list. And so what I did on the side was I went and looked at NVIDIA's option chain. And if you looked at it, guys, not a single strike was getting hit other than 560 when NVIDIA was right here. The 560s were right here, and it already had 1,000 in volume, and they didn't buy anything else. So what that tells me is they're probably going to drive this stock to 560 at least. If you take a look, they drove it to 560. So remember in the class, guys, I shared the little trick that big money is going to buy options when they are cheap. And then they are going to get it there and then sell it. So the NVIDIA 560s, guys, this morning were about $1 as well. And now they're currently almost $3 to $4. So that's the logic where big money comes in, starts to load up these cheap OTM strikes, and then boom, they explode it and they make a ton of money. So I hope that helps, Mark. It's just watching the volume on the option chain. And yes, guys, volume is better to watch than open interest, because open interest is simply just, how many contracts are available, where volume is how many are being executed on. So I want to know, are they buying a ton of 560s? Are they buying 580s? Are they not buying anything? This is really a good trick, guys, because some days on a name like NVIDIA, there won't even be 1,000 volume. And that to me is very concerning for a name that, usually on its best strikes, we'll see 1,000, volume pretty fast. If you don't see it, guys, no one's there trading it. And they probably know more than we do, meaning it's not going to go higher today. But when they load contracts, it's just another additional catalyst team that we can stack. So I hope that makes sense. BC, so for NVIDIA, two really good trades here, guys. And again, these are just theory. I didn't take either of these, but it's about teaching. So the best trade, guys, was right here. We had that 550 zone. Whenever we drop, and again, you don't want to be a knife catcher and buy the first pop. But when you hit an inflection point, guys, literally to the cent, and then you pop, the best thing to do, and write this down, is wait for a retest. You will always get a retest, team, if the move is real. And when you get a retest, the most important thing to watch is the higher lows. So you want it to come back, but give you a little slight ramp. So if it came back and hit 550 again, I'm being cautious. But the fact that it popped right at my key level, gave us that retest and held, that's where we'd want to start to now look to play it back up, risking right back below. And then when it finally reaches your zone, guys, and then pulls back here, right to that VWAP, that's another good trade. And then from here, I wouldn't look to trade this one. In Snow, guys, perfect. Zone to zone to zone. So remember the key levels that we structured and why. We had our zone. We added in that pre-market level. We added in point of control. So it messes around at the bottom, breaks that cloud, breaks pre-market HOD. So just like the downside, guys, when you test a level, you're going to retest it. So it breaks through it and then retests it and holds. And then just kind of continues its slow grind here, going from zone to zone. So you can see, guys, a big difference in premium if you try to, fully let these moves pan out, right? Snow right now is from about $1 to almost $4 just by following some basic rules. Ken, do you differentiate between after hour levels versus cash session levels? Yes, Ken. So usually, especially for my pre-market levels, I make them this little green just as a reference point. So I know my other levels are normal levels, and then these are, the filler levels, if that makes sense. And let me clear my screen, guys. I know I got a lot of crap on it right now. James, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I missed what you said about NVIDIA 560 calls. Is that something you had an alert on or just aware of because you trade NVIDIA so often? So NVIDIA, guys, the 560 calls were on my radar because one, they had good volume yesterday. Two, is it fits our realistic path of the stock. So remember in the class, guys, the stock selection, right? We want good key levels. We want to place strikes that fit in ATR and also fit, the vicinity that we want to play in. So NVIDIA 560, guys, was kind of, right near our key zone. Again, just a strike that I had on the radar. And when you quickly see them buying it at open, get ready. So again, guys, that's why it's important to kind of figure out what strikes you're going to play and then go look to play them and just be ready. So if we take a look at Snow, guys, look at the options. Now, granted, we're putting some volume on these, but that's the best strike today, team. And it was the best strike. It was the only strike getting hit before the move even occurred. So again, guys, these little tips and tricks are what are going to give you confluence to trade it. So it's like, okay, they're slowly accumulating the 200s. They're not buying any other strike. It's holding point of control. If and when it can get through here, they're going to go push that guy's deep in the money, just like they did here, where it goes from, 70 cents to that $4. That's how you guys double your money trading options. Just all these little tips and tricks. Awesome. You guys are great. And I apologize, guys. Give me 1 minute. I gotta step away from the desk for just a few seconds. I apologize. I'll be right back. All right, my bad, team. Everyone hear me okay? Should be good. I know we're winding down our first session here, but all right, thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. So I see a few more questions, guys. A lot of setups here kind of unfolded. So, that's our opening drive. So I'm going to answer a few more. We'll review, what happened. And then we'll talk about, a few more things to watch while we take our break and what to focus on for the rest of the session. Evan. Well, actually, let me keep scrolling up here. DPS, is volume better than open interest to track? Yes, in my opinion. So open interest, guys, is what's available for options. Meaning, if they added 1,000 strikes, 1,000 contracts to be traded today, that's what open interest would show you. Where volume is showing you guys, if I buy 100 of them, it's going to show 100 were purchased. And that's what we want to focus on, is the true accumulation of strikes. Rav, you got NVIDIA around 51 cents. Let's go, man. Bill, if you only traded 3 stocks, what would you pick? SPX, NVIDIA, and Google. If I could only pick, I would. That's literally what I'd say off the top of my head right away. Evan, do you position size based on max loss of the contracts or the loss at the point of your stop loss? Great question, Evan. So in regards to that, man, you're never going to be able to truly know how much you'll lose on an option just based off of, a price level. So for example, if we buy Snow at 196.5, it's very hard to know what that option is going to cost if it goes back below point of control. That's just the problem with options, is they can be very volatile, et cetera, et cetera. So I really just focus, Evan, on sizing into each setup with the same amount of risk, that you typically trade, because that allows you to then just run the numbers properly. So just use a basic example. Say you go into each trade with $1,000, right? That's where we want to focus on doing our job, which is getting really good entries and then managing our risks. So that's the real answer there, my friend, is find a number you're comfortable investing into each. So if you have a $10,000 account, break it up into chunks, right? Put 400 into each trade or something like that. And that's what allows you to, again, kind of just take each good trade and run the numbers, where I'm really picky on sizing into a certain setup, because if you size into one and it messes you up, you could have a month of consistency, size up, and then get destroyed. So I really like to find that number and then just take good trades and slowly increase our risk. So I hope that helps, Ev. Tom, right? Can you leave tick? Steve, what do you show for point of control on NVIDIA? So last time I checked, guys, point of control on NVIDIA, if we just take a peek here on another chart, point of control is still above your team at 572.37 to be exact. Adam, so far I'm not able to get cloud or point of control figured out on TradingView. Whatever I'm getting is different from Chandler's. They don't figure it out on TradingView. Adam, I'll take a peek at that. I haven't used TradingView in a while, but I could take a look and see, is there a cloud or is there, a certain point of control setting? I'll look into that, my friend. Shoot me an email, and we can kind of look through that together. And I recommend, guys, not to tell you what broker to use, but if you are looking to use these exact tools, consider opening a Thinkorswim account just to chart on. It's free. You can literally fund it with $1 just to, be able to access, these charts and indicators. So just an FYI. Yep, Benji, we'll flip through, look at Facebook, Google, Amazon, etc. here in a minute. I just want to wrap up these questions, guys. Jets fan, what percent of your account will you normally put into a single trade? I like the 2 to 5% risk per scalp. So, if you're taking a $1,000, $10,000 account, anywhere from, a few hundred into each trade makes sense. AP, do you go through the same process for afternoon sessions or does it differ from the morning? It does differ a little bit, AP. Well, what I want to do is, take the setups that we created, take the thesis that we created, and then see what happened, and kind of update the current thesis moving forward. So, I want to see, did names go zone to zone? Does anyone have an ATR left? Did any name, not even trigger its move yet? You kind of just want to reset and see what happened. And then, just kind of tweak your game plan as needed. I don't really try to go look for other setups or other trades. It's more so, did what I plan already unfold, or is there something, to pay attention to for the lather session as well? Elroy, would I buy video on a pullback to 555? Yeah, probably, my friend, if we get it. I don't know if we'll get it, but definitely looking for it. So yeah, guys, let me share this workspace I have since I'm getting that question a lot. And then we'll flip through some charts here. I'm gonna get out of the questions in a second. But let me share this flex grid. All right, guys. So gonna tuck the chat away for a little bit here, and flip through some of the names that we talked about. See if there's any other setups kind of cooking. And yeah, let's look around here, team. So NVIDIA, guys, kind of doing the deed. Ideally we should have been in it from here, had a good entry here, and now it's just kind of grinding away. So definitely got away from us. Snow pretty much doing the move as well, team. So again, we will probably in the second half of our session go over these setups again. Explain why this level was here. Why did I think it was going to do this, et cetera, et cetera. So Snow, guys, kind of completing the mission. Didn't really have any other expectations for it today. So again, as we kind of reach the zone top here, it's probably over. But let's flip through a few here, guys, to see how the market's unfolded. So one is Facebook, right? We had our basic zone to zone and it quickly did it, guys, and now it's just sitting here chopping. So again, you really want to focus on those first A plus trades, which is this initial strong pop for zone to zone. Like I mentioned in the class, guys, whenever a name pops really strong, I'm talking like a Facebook really strong, the first pullback to VWAP is usually an amazing entry. So if you did happen to miss this entire move and you wanted to play the pullback to VWAP, that's not a bad trade right back to your zone. But after that, guys, as you can see, it just kind of tops out. It's already made its move. It's already traded its average true range. Not expecting much else here from Facebook for the rest of the day. So really just a classic zone to zone. To break down why this zone is here, let's look at it. So remember, guys, just very basic inflection points. So I wanted to focus on, let me zoom out a bit. So remember, guys, when we ask ourselves about levels, inflection points to play off of, one of the keys, guys, and is my chart updating? All right, yeah. One of the keys, guys, when, deciphering, is this an inflection point, is asking yourself, what happened when that level broke? So again, we had a nice level here, and it held again. And then the day we break it causes a huge inflection, right? About a 13, 15 point drop after that level gave out. So that now becomes, guys, a target and a level to get back to eventually. So if we take a look, guys, when we broke through here, another good pivot was simply just right here, a nice little pre-market level that also lines up with this week's high currently, right? We got to get through this little base. So we always ask ourselves, we want to look left. What comes next? So we're prepping here this morning, guys. I don't really care about this level here. We're already kind of cracked it. But I do care about this one. Because again, if we look intraday here, right, we drop, we kind of pop here. So not only did it cover this low, that low, and this low, cause another flush. So those become two basic inflection points, team, where we flip to today. If we break one, we can head to the next. So that truly is just how simple this Facebook zone is. But that's all stocks do, guys, is they travel from one major point to the next major point. And then they stop, they find their feet, and they travel to the next major point. So that was Facebook here. Really good, good example. Let's take a peek at Tesla. So had Tesla on the watch list today, guys, and it looks like this was a little bit messy. So the levels that we had lined up on this one were the following. We had yesterday's low. We had the 200-day moving average, which sat at 580. And if, again, look across, guys, lines nicely with some major inflection points. Good resistance yesterday. We gapped above it today. So that was solid. We did dip below here this morning. So again, we didn't really reach any key inflection points, but then we started to turn back around. So let's just look at this one on a 1-minute chart. So I want to try to help you guys identify, tradable opportunities. So, oh, nice. This is a great setup. So again, guys, inflection points. We just dump here and break the 200. We don't reach an inflection point, so I really wouldn't take this bottom trade. However, we want to start to focus on what's called pattern recognition, in which one of my favorites, guys, is when a name starts to carve out higher lows. That's when it's starting to turn around. So it's just bleeding, 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 and then it pops. And then it stops going as low, and it stops going lower. This is that change of flow here. Where the trade on this one, guys, came was when we broke through that cloud, retested VWAP, and now we're officially on the other side of that cloud and getting back above the 200-day moving average. So that, guys, became a really nice shift of intraday momentum. Right, you get the retest and then gone right to that next key level, which is pre-market HOD. So awesome, awesome chart here, guys. And again, I hope this makes sense. Just trying to break down, examples of what a good trade would look like. Let's look at Google. So Google team is an ignore today. You know, it opens up between two inflection points and has just chopped in place. So this is a name that I'll be focused on for later in the day, where if they start to break this key zone team, we could have a really good push towards that point of control. But for now, it hasn't done anything. Hasn't even kissed an inflection point. Hasn't really done anything with any indicators. So it's a wait, wait, wait. Let's see, guys. Amazon was also on the list. I don't think they've been folded quite yet. So let me just clear this one up and zoom out a bit. Yeah, so for Amazon here, guys, again, two basic inflection points. Yesterday's HOD lines up with the 200-day moving average, and then I focus on Tuesday's HOD here, a very good inflection point, which also carries into Monday. No interest, guys, really trading Amazon until it can clear this zone. You know, we're just kind of in the middle of it. We're starting to crack through it, but it's got a lot of resistance ahead. So again, this is a setup that probably won't happen today, but if and when it breaks through this key zone, I like that push up towards our point of control zone, which captures this nice wick and captures point of control. So again, guys, it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere here. Not too much to do. And I believe, guys, that was all we covered this morning. If there's any names you want me to take a look at, just to kind of, again, break down where trades might be had, let me know. But there goes Snow, guys, completing our zone to zone. So again, I was a little quick on the exit, but it follows that mean, guys. It just keeps holding until it finally gets there. You know, this is more of a day trade than an actual scalp. But again, I'm trying to drive into you guys the system and how it works. We're under the cloud. We break the cloud. We hold those key moving averages. Whenever it loses the 8, it's going to test the 21. 21 holds. Nice. Back to the journey. 21 holds. Nice. We keep moving. 21 holds. Nice. Complete the journey. So let's keep looking here, guys, at a few setups. Lev said Zoom. All right, nice breakout here. So first zone I would have drawn, guys, is very basic, right? From yesterday's HOD up to this key level here. And we can actually add both of them to make it a little dual zone. So these really are the biggest inflection points that I would have focused on to trade Zoom today, right? Just basic highs and lows, team. So we have our key levels. Let's look at where point of control was on this one. Nice, right to start. So we'll just make this level point of control. And then let's go look at a 1-minute chart. All right, team. So Zoom, we had a nice bullish gap above the 1-minute cloud, right? Unlike Snow, this stayed above the 1-minute cloud. And it kind of just stuck here, guys, trying to get through that key zone. When something like this happens and you get that messy price action, you really want to wait for it to start to, not be as messy. However, in the mess, you want to start to, again, focus on pattern recognition, such as ramping higher. So right here, guys, it's clearly just starting to ramp higher, and it's stuffing point of control. So as we know, guys, if and when it gets through, it becomes a cannon. So with Zoom here, patience and open, it's kind of just chopping, but you're noticing it ramp. And then finally, when it breaks through that level that it struggled and then holds the 8, that's technically, guys, your nice trade here. Coming right up to your first key level, retest it, and it finishes the job, guys, zone to zone. So just another basic example there of how you technically could have traded Zoom. Let's look at Roku. All right, so Roku, guys, has kind of been hitting this key zone here that I've had all week. And I forget exactly where this level stems from, but if we were just to start fresh here, or guys, we can take some basic wicks. So we'll focus on, yesterday's low with the prior day low. That gives us this nice little zone here. Next is we want to check our indicators. Where's point of control? Point of control, guys, was right above. So again, it becomes a nice little magnet or a cannon. We throw that in there. We make it blue. We have our upside levels, guys, that we can't get through. So this simply just becomes our upside target, is playing ping pong in between these key levels, guys. So for Roku this morning, two little trades here, team. Pretty damn messy at open and eventually broke that 1 minute cloud and started to drop towards our key zone. Once it hits that key zone, team, wait. It starts to finally ramp, put in higher lows. All right, so let me grab that actual wick. Now we're starting to turn around here, team. And again, you want to be careful, guys, playing knife catcher and buying things that drop it open. But if you can play at a nice key level and risk right back below, it gives you time. As you can see, guys, it works its way up to 1 minute cloud, breaks 1 minute cloud, and holds. So it's actually a better trade for that push back to point of control. So this really is the best trade here if you didn't take the dip buy. So again, opens, give open time. You're noticing the blood, hits a key zone, finds its feet, slowly turns around, holds the moving averages, clears the cloud, holds the cloud, and then finishes the journey back up to POC. Everything making sense here, team? And I actually want to look at Square because Square is a name that had a ton of call flow this morning. So let's just take a peek at Square. Awesome, guys. Glad everyone's liking this. So if we look at Square here, team, also some very basic key levels where, again, we want to look at the daily chart. Where is that biggest inflection point? So we're all looking at the same chart, guys. Where is it? Can we all agree right here? All right, what happened? We hit there, guys. Boom, we rip. We pull back. We don't hold as much, right? We continue higher. The lower highs, and we start to ramp. So if and when, guys, we get back down to this key zone, it now becomes a really nice play. So we'll just mark this key zone, for example. One thing I like to throw in there is the 200-day moving average, because currently that's where every name is starting to play. So you can see here, guys, we can make the top of that zone the 200-day moving average, which for me, I just make it teal. So let's look here, team. Let's actually look at point of control. We want to make sure we know where all our indicators are. And it's still quite above. So square, square, square. And again, guys, some names aren't tradable, but I just want to look in here and see, what was a good looking setup. So this was a little bit messy. Just look at a 1 minute time frame. Yeah, I don't really see any trades here, guys. Big drop it open, big pop, big drop. Did start to bottom here, break back for that cloud and start to rally, but overall fairly messy here. So not all stocks, guys, are in tradable ranges. All right, let's see, team. BC, what % of your trades are shorts? Off the top of my head, I don't have a number, but I would say the majority of my trades are probably to the long side, just because, we've been trending higher for a very long time, but I'm always ready to short it. So again, it doesn't matter, guys, as long as you just have a thesis to play. But for the most part, stocks have been going up recently. Angie, on Thinkorswim, how do I automate placing the point of control? I notice you have a pull-down menu with it on there, but I'm not sure how to do that. So yeah, guys, that was coded from a buddy of mine. It's not a crazy piece of code, so I can ask him if he's okay with me sharing that, just to make everyone's lives a little bit easier. What you can do instead of throwing point of control in your indicator is you can just look at the price. I actually, even though I have it, I still go back and look at the indicator. But I'll look into that, Becky. DPS, how do you decide between 1 day versus 1 hour versus 30-minute chart to find zones? Great question, my friend. So You want to focus, guys, on daily charts first to get those big key levels, because those are going to show you, the actual cash session itself, the highs, the lows, all those major inflection points. And then I just like to go in, to an intraday chart to find, after hour levels where maybe there was actually a higher high that day, but it's not going to be reflected on a 1 minute chart, a daily chart, because it's an after hour level. So I like to use both DPS. It doesn't matter. You could use an hourly chart or a 30-minute. It's just to see those intraday levels. Yeah, Tom, good call. We got Snow reaching the 1 minute cloud here, first time today. Let's see if we get a little support here, team. Market, though, seems to be topping out slightly. We kissed that gap fill. Yeah, why don't you keep active trader on the screen we are seeing? I can, guys. They're just trying to, minimize what I have on it when it comes time to execute. So, I want to focus on tape reading. And I think, to have active trader on here, probably too much. And again, guys, it's just a click of a button. If it makes you feel better, I could throw it on there. But we'll John, looking at Square, looks like the 1 hour cloud would have been a good tool to use to start a swing trade short. Could you review it? Absolutely, man. Yeah, this is great. So as I've mentioned, team, these clouds are a really good gauge of sequence. When they're stuck under certain clouds, it's a good time to, one, you can swing around it, or two, you can just use it as an overall compass. So you can see Square here, they've been below this cloud and bleeding for a while. They get to the cloud and they drop. They pop up here on earnings, and they go right back to that cloud and just continue to bleed. So as we start to bottom out here, it's going to have to get on the other side of that cloud and start to rally. Just like Snow today, guys. Let's go back to Snow. And let me clear this up. This is a name that's been abused for a long time. However, when they cross that cloud, guys, it starts the reversal. So again, we're up here, we bleed. We reject the cloud and we bleed. We go near the cloud and we bleed. We go near it again and we bleed. Only today, guys, and we cross through it, does that start the journey. So I really like the 30-minute cloud as that first little compass. Right? So we're under it, we're under it, we're under it, and we're finally starting to trade above it. And again, with the sequence here, we look at the hourly. And we're finally above the hourly. Next, guys, is the 2 hour. As you can see, now we're starting to carve into the 2 hour, and we'll have to leave that key zone. Take a look at the 4 hour. We're going to have to start to work our way towards it. Take a look at the daily. We are very much so below it. So again, guys, that's how the sequence kind of works. So it's Snow getting its butt kicked here, getting upgraded. That's why it's on my list. I want to see if it starts to cross these clouds and start to work its way higher. That's kind of, exactly what is happening here and exactly why we're trading it. So remember, guys, basic inflection points. If we break here, right, we can head to here. Add that cloud in. You see it sit this morning. You see it hold it, break it, and then run right to that inflection point. It might seem too simple, guys, to use highs and lows and basic wicks, but I promise you that's what that's how simple it can be. They're very basic levels, but they just go from highs to lows to highs to lows. Those are the true deciding factors, because that's exactly where it stopped. That's where the control is. So they're going to drive it right back to it, and then it decides. Steven, I'm interested in how you were able to have all those charts set up and switch around so fast and toss. You have the studies load, study set in the top, and the drawing set in the bottom. Can you mouse those really slowly so we can snap a screenshot of the list? Yeah, man, of course. So within toss, guys, get comfortable with it. There's two main aspects of it. One is the bottom here, which is your drawing set. I always like to have a clean drawing set. So, I can look at it, zoom out, and start to see basic crap. And then 2 is you want to have, you're ready to go. Zone watch list, right? So again, guys, our pre-market level was pretty much that hourly cloud. All these things start to line up. So that's why you do want a clean one to reference and then a clean one to quickly, flip back to. So that's the bottom here, guys, of how I quickly, see what levels I had, et cetera, et cetera. And then, the other version is the studies. How do you quickly flip through this? Simply, guys, I just have a lot of study sets saved. So if I want to see the cloud, I just click cloud. If I want to see point of control, I just click point of control. I have a lot of other things here, but all the basic stuff in it. So if we want a naked chart, boom. If I want to look at point of control, quickly go to POC, go to the right time frame, and boom. So all these little things, guys, just help you be more efficient. If I want to look at this squeeze, boom. So it might look like a lot, guys, but it's pretty easy to manage and navigate. Mad Mike, so I would love to cover zones, guys. And again, just really listen here, team. I'm sharing a lot on zones right now, breaking down the setups we've shared today, breaking down why I picked those levels. So go back and watch the actual zone video I made, and then just make sure you guys, try to decipher the things I'm saying today. And Mike, the way to shade it is just using the rectangle. Right, so all this is, guys, is I just draw a rectangle. So it's just a visual that I put in between. Yeah, no problem, Mike. I know it can be difficult. It's like, where's the shading come from? But yep, it's just that rectangle tool. Steven, yeah, the drawing sets, guys, are super critical. I love different drawing sets, etc. How many toss windows do I have open at one time? Right now, guys, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. The only thing I'll say is be careful having too many open because it does slow down toss a little bit. But mine seems to handle this many okay. Jules, how to make the background black? You just simply go to edit, go to appearance, and change your background right here. Hey, Pat, it's an honor to be the teacher and the guide. Any suggestions for beginners on how to study and practice trading in a systematic way? Absolutely. So you've obviously, invested in the class. So I would just go through and, truly understand each of the components in the class, understand the indicators, each of them in detail, understand, zones, and then just slowly, my friends, start to watch each day. I wouldn't rush into executing, especially if you're new to this, but just go through the business, do a little prep, come up with a few good names, watch how they unfold, and then do what I'm doing with you guys, which is kind of, going back and back testing it. If we didn't trade snow today, we could have marked these levels, guys, and then be like, okay, damn, held point of control, broke that cloud, grinded those moving averages Chan talked about until it kissed its target. So just be patient, Pat, and slowly, again, just digest the things I'm saying, and I promise you it'll slowly start to click. And if you do want to trade, you can either trade mentally. So I wouldn't really paper trade because it slows things down. You have to use a simulated account. But you could just be like, okay, I'm going to buy snow calls here at $1. And I'll cut, when it goes back below or when it hits my zone. And it would be, a 1 to 4 for, a 3 to 400% return. So just be patient, my friend, and I'm here to help. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. And yeah, guys, again, I'm not going to pat my back, but it's very scary when it unfolds this perfect, zone to zone. I've seen happen, hundreds and thousands of times, and it's very accurate and scary. So it's like, hey, if we hold here, guys, we literally can go to 204, and you will see that happen over and over. So again, I'm here to help internalize it, guys. Remember, team, this is just the psychology of how and why stocks move, right? Hold point of control. It's a cannon. It magneted on it, but then it cannoned. Ran to our pre-market level and held. So if it holds, guys, it has to go here. It just has to. It's how they move. They're forced to move when the bell is ringing. And if we can understand that the map that they're going to take, that's when we're good to go here, team. And again, if it breaks here, guys, it can continue its journey to our next key level. So yeah, guys, let me show you this this snow zone again. And I know we're going to be repetitive here, but the goal is to master this in the time that we have together. So let's look at this snow zone one more time. And remember, guys, I marked this morning before any of this happened. And look how clean it works. So again, not pat myself on the back, just showing you guys the power of this. So let's break it down one more time. All right, so snow, snow, snow. We got a clean chart, guys, and we got our basic inflection point. So starting very simple here, we want to look left, right? So we had none of that. We had no clue any of this was going to happen, team, right? So we're just dealing with this, right? This is all we have. So again, guys, with a chart, you want to focus on what comes next. You know, there's so many levels, but it doesn't really matter. We need to focus on what's in front of us, right? 230 could be the biggest key level in the world. Well, guess what, guys? We're at 190, so it doesn't really matter. But that's why you want to look across and see, what do we have to deal with for today? That's all that matters, team. So again, I always really like to focus on the biggest inflection points. And those are just simply going to be, team, the high of the day and the low of the day. That's where either bulls stepped up, bears stepped up, whatever it is. That's his key level, right? And again, look left. Pretty much the same key level. So it stopped here one day, went up, and stopped again. That's our first key level, team. So again, if it breaks here, logically, guys, what's the next major stopping point that I had to deal with? Right up here. And so that becomes our first big, beautiful zone. So, right, that's how we got this nice little structure here. And another thing you can do, guys, is actually add halfway levels. So again, if we look back, this might have been a nice level to add. So let's actually just add that in there. Right, 200 is a good level to watch. So we flip to this morning, and the reason why I didn't have that is because it was pre-market hot. So I update that pre-market level to match our zone. So right, we have these two key inflection points. We have our pre-market level. That's what gives us our zone here, team. So again, with zones, it's always good to have your two major inflection points and then a key level in the middle. So the key level in the middle can either be the pre-market if it lines up perfectly, or it can be just another inflection point, guys. So again, if we look back here, this little 200 level is nice. Big inflection here, caused a drop and then a massive gap down. It was also a nice little intraday level here. So grab that wick. And then, guys, again, it comes to execution. We want to look at indicators. So point of control is one of my favorites. We see, okay, point of control is right here. Let me add it just in case we hit it and we get a pop off of it. So we add our point of control. And boom, we're ready to go. Anil, how many would you go back for inflection points? So it all depends, guys, on what you need to deal with. So, can I go add this? Yeah, but we probably don't have to deal with that today. So you just want to focus, guys, on what's in front of you. And again, what kind of fits the stock's ATR. So for snow here, as an ATR of, we'll round up a little bit, 12 points. So from close, right, guys, our zone was about 16 points away. So yes, we're asking it to do a little more than average. Anything above 205, we don't really need for today, right? Focus on an average. So that's how, guys, I got this key zone for today. And then again, when it comes to executing, we hop in, we wait and see, we add our tools, and we go from there. So we chop, chop, chop on POC. We break that cloud that we were stuck under all morning, and we rally all the way to our key level. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Let's see here, guys. I know we're wrapping up on time, so I'll answer a few questions. And yeah, guys, we only did take one trade this morning. I obviously got out way too early and didn't follow my own rules, so crap happens, as they say. But always room to get better, guys. And again, you know, if you sometimes just follow your rules blindly, it works out best. You know, you can get a little caught up in every tick. You know, so I was seeing sellers on the tape, worried about locking it in, getting a green trade for you guys. All that crap is going through my head right now. So just remember that. But I want you guys to understand everything that's happening in the system. So again, should I have held this longer? Probably. Did I get out green? Yeah. Am I rich? No. Are you guys learning? Hopefully. And that's my goal here, team. So yes, I definitely locked early. And yeah, AFD, you know, I'm trying to give you guys wins and not losses, but we do want to just focus on trading our rules. And yeah, KJ, I don't want to make excuses, but it is very hard to trade in front of people. So I am doing my best here, guys. And as you can see, team, like this is just a basic example of crap that happens every day. Every day. You will see zones like this line up. You'll see, you know, a cloud shift. All that stuff, team. I appreciate all the good comments. JD, how do you balance between taking a super solid profit and allowing things to run? I like taking early profits, but also learning how to let things run. So the key with that, JD, is simply, man, just having a little more size. Where again, you know, if you bought a few contracts on snow and it immediately pops, we're already up like 50%. So it's pretty easy to, you know, take a little off of the table and then see what happens. So again, guys, it gets easier with size to just be like, all right, let me see if it gets to pre-market high. Okay, damn, it broke it. Let me see if, you know, it keeps holding it. All right, we held the mean. Held the mean. All right. Held the mean. And then you're finally at your target. So it really just gets easier with size is the real answer. Where if you guys have one contract and you're riding this entire thing, you technically can still catch it. You just really got to try to control your emotions while it's happening. And that's why at the end of the day, team, if you can just follow the rules to the T, which again, even myself, sometimes I don't follow my rules to the T. But if you follow them to the T and you try to remove your emotions, that's when you'll capitalize on, you know, phenomenal trades. And yeah, JD, man, we gotta keep perspective, guys. You know, a little pop is like 50% your money. Now, yes, this is hundreds of percent your money. So those little tweaks, guys, make a big difference. Right? Following your rules changes your entire day. So that's why I preach, you know, get better daily, because we're always going to be getting better, guys. A little more emotional control, a little more trusting your system, a little more following your rules. Whatever the hell it is, that's why every day we have a chance to get a little bit better at this game. Where one day, you know, we all hope to just be masters and, you know, execute with no emotion. You know, pop through cloud, take that trade. All right, give me an alert when it hits here and I'll get out. Boom. Pat, can you share with us if you provide this hand holding the options room? Like, are we definitely gonna need more sessions like this today for a couple of months? So in the options room, guys, I'll be able to hold your hand in the morning sessions, which are most of my sessions for the week. So I do the open in there, and it's gonna be the same type of thing that we're doing today. But as promised, guys, you have my contact. I'm here to help, so I'll never go anywhere. And maybe one day I'll have my own room, and we can do this every day together. Yeah, 100 contracts. It's one of those things where you just have to learn to trust your zones, guys. And again, like I said this in the class, the only thing that can mess up this system is emotions, right? Cutting early, getting out, whatever. Where if you gave it to a robot, and that's what we're all trying to strive to be, is just emotionless, and you just execute on system, it often works flawlessly. Give me my own room. I'm over 18. But all right, here, guys, I know we are running out of time, so I'm just going to go to the 30-minute mark. So we'll spend 5 more minutes here together, team. And if anyone has any final questions, let me know. But so yeah, guys, for this morning, plenty of opportunities, kind of easing into my live trading here. So only one trade on the board. Not the biggest trade, but did get a nice little scalp here on Snow. Ended up being a grand slam, but life goes on. So let me know, guys, you enjoyed this morning, and what's the most important thing you learned today? Let me know. Rodney, right? Get a room. Molds are patience. BC zones. Love that, guys. Really hope zones are starting to click. Prep is key. Yep, it's another good one. Trust your zones. All right, it looks like a lot of people are starting to slowly get these zones. And I promise, guys, they're not the easiest thing, but when you master them like myself, and I've been doing them for years, I made this chart in 10 minutes this morning. And then boom, boom, boom. AFD, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping there's opportunity, guys. We did miss a little bit today, but this is only our first session together, guys, and I want to focus on some teaching and trading. So I'll definitely do my diligence here, and we'll show up for the second half with some good trade examples. But a lot of things, guys, unfolded perfectly today. NVIDIA went zone to zone here, maybe a little more to point of control later in the day, but it's getting towards that ATR. Snow pretty much done with here. Could have managed it better. So again, want to focus on doing better on our first setup and thesis, and not chasing, secondary crap. But I'll do my diligence, guys. I'll come back at 2, 1 Central Time with some good setups. And pay attention, guys, to ES, right? We just went from a POC to a POC. Very slow. And yeah, Chris, that was the goal with creating zones. Remember from the class, guys, it gives you a roadmap. And when you have a roadmap in this crazy volatile game, it's like hell yeah, man. I know what's possible. I know, like, this stock only has a few choices, right? If Snow's going to trade above 196.5, it's probably going to go to 204. It doesn't have to, but that's what our map is guiding us towards, right, guys? NVIDIA, if it holds 550, it can go to 555. If it clears 555, it can go to 563.23. Boom, gave it a kiss, and now it's over. All right, market, guys, if it breaks through point of control like we talked about, it can get sent to the other one, and boom, here we are. It's a slow ass grind, but we got there. EI11, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Sonar, can I recommend a YouTube link to learn how to create drawings? I would only recommend, guys, the video that I created. To be a little biased here, right? Who can teach zones better than the guy that created them? But all right, team, we will wrap it up here. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed our first 2 hours together. Only a little one trade in the books, but green is green, my friends. So most importantly, I hope you learned a lot here for first opening drive together. And we'll be back, guys, for the second half. Power hour. We'll see what the market's cooking up. We'll go through some levels again, and we'll go from there, team. Only word of advice, guys, is be a bit cautious now that, myself, I'm going to walk away. It's lunchtime. A lot of things have already gone zone to zone. So remember, team, we want to plan the trade and then trade the plan. If a planned trade has already happened and you do not have a plan, don't go walk on the battlefield. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I will be in the chat if you do need me. I'm more than happy to, talk for a little bit here, but we'll be back, team. Be safe, trade well, and let's keep getting better. Thanks, guys.